Hello, everyone. Mariel Weiss with Keller Williams Real Estate here, and I am holding up a very interesting number here. What does this mean exactly? 18 years. I'll get to it in a minute. I wanted to share with you today some information, not on our local market per se, but nationally, what the numbers are showing and what we're seeing. We Keller Williams agents convene every year and mastermind and network with other agents from around the nation. And it's a time when people, statisticians who are at a much higher pay grade and level than I am, take a look at all the data and the numbers and give us an idea of what's to come. So that's what I hope to share with you today, is that look back as well as a look forward. So number one, I'm going to share my screen here. Number one item are home sales. Home sales is something that, of course, they follow for good reason. And what we're seeing is that last year was a great year. It's not so much that we did not have homes to sell as much as the homes that did sell sold so quickly that they did not make the monthly calculating of inventory. They were coming on, coming off so quickly. And you'll see that that's why here we're showing that our annual months of inventory, keep in mind, around 6 as an average balanced market, we were at an all-time low since this data has been recorded. So that's really, really interesting. When we ask ourselves why that has happened, we're going to get into the next slide. So I think this is a great slide to explain why we are where we are and where we're headed. So prior to the Great Recession, home builders were building at such a fast pace, and they had land deals under contract. They were building without really having the demand or desire for them. And they created a little bit of an over surplus, a surplus of homes that they had built. So when everything stops, because keep in mind, this is when people were buying vacant homes and just sitting on them, hoping that in 3 months, the value would be so much higher. So when everything stopped, the builders pulled back and they stopped building homes. They stopped developing land. And that's what you see here. So we are now finally up here to these levels where they are now building homes at the long-term average of where they really need to be. And that number that I shared with you, 18 years, that number is important because if we continue to build at the pace that we are building now, it will take 18 years to quench the thirst of demand shortages, population growth, all of that. So I think that's fascinating. I think that really is a good explanation as to why we are where we are, is that we have this huge deficit here of ground that we have to make up, and we need to keep building because, as you know, people are moving in with family members. You've got 2-3 families in one house. We need the homes, okay? Something else that's really interesting is when we look at affordability. So buyers who are out there who are frustrated with the higher prices, how the prices keep going up, it is still a very affordable time to buy a home. When we look at the cost of buying a home, it's really the price of the home, and this is important, so let me show you. It's really two things. It's the price of the home, well, actually for you guys, the price of the home and the cost of financing the home. That's what really dictates affordability. So right now, money is still incredibly affordable to borrow. So yes, the prices are going up, but you need to look at the payment, because you could have a payment one day if your rate's at 4%, and if those rates go up to 4.5%, that payment, depending upon your mortgage amount, can blow you out of affordability, meaning you can no longer afford and be qualified for that loan. So that's really important. If you are actively looking for a home, you need to keep an eye on the rates, and you need to remember that yes, prices are going up. So the price that feels really high right now and kind of crazy in a year, 2 years, if everything continues on this trend, when you look back, paying that price now is going to look like a supreme discount in the market of the future. Just think about it. Homes that you may have started looking at 2 years ago are now worth so much more that you say, shoot, I would have gladly paid that price of 2 years ago now. You don't want to get caught behind the 8 ball like that. Another thing to put into perspective is inflation. Of course, we could not have a session like this and not talk about inflation and how it affects the things we purchase and use: cars, gas, houses, wages. So this is adjusted for where we would be adjusting for inflation. Homes are still much more affordable than maybe they should be. And part of that is because of interest rates. this is a good look at interest rates as far as where they've been lately. Now, granted, this is from a couple weeks ago when we were together at this session. We are projecting that rates will be in the mid fours probably into next year. Now, that's not my projection. I don't have a projection. I don't have a crystal ball to know exactly, but the people that spend their lives studying this and accounting for all of the different factors feel that that's going to be the case. Of course, with everything in Ukraine right now, that has caused the rates to kind of dip a little bit. So certainly if you've gotten under contract and you have not yet locked the rate, now would be a great time. Perhaps, that's your decision. I have to have all these disclosures in here. But I hope this information was helpful. There's a lot more of it. I just chose a few slides to share with you, and hopefully you glean something interesting from it. If you need help dissecting the market in where you are locally, of course, we can help with that. We'd be happy to hear from you, and we hope you're all doing well and have a great rest of the day. Thanks.